Hi everyone and welcome to the NetSuite New Release 2021.2. Let me introduce myself. I'm Riza, one of the functional consultants for customer success team here at Online One. Today, we'll be sharing with you some of the key enhancements and highlights as part of the new release. We'll also be sharing some general risk and plan of recommended action before your account is upgraded. So before we started, let's move to the other slide. Before we get started, please note that the new release includes lots of enhancement and also new features. Due to the unique processes and needs of each businesses, we will not be discussing in detail into any new feature. Instead, we will be sharing with you some of the most useful and commonly used features and enhancement that will benefit you as a NetSuite user. So in this slide, we strongly recommend reviewing the 2021.2 release notes in detail, which is available for download in your home dashboard. This will ensure you are well informed about what to expect in the upcoming update. In addition to the new release document, the Sportlet also includes links to many useful resources, the 2021.2 preview, the sneak peek to get the highlights for the new features as they are used by various industries. Another one is the release preview guide is also available, which includes the helpful instructions assisting you through the transition to the latest NetSuite version. Lastly, the training resources page includes the helpful videos, training content to help you familiarize with the new features. We highly recommend you to check this out. So for the next slide,
Hi, this is Johnson, and I will be discussing the top five highlights that we have selected on the new release feature. So, number one would be the smart financial and operational automation. This includes online invoice payment, where payment link is added on invoices to customer. Once these are sent to the customer's email, it will now include a link to a secure payment portal or other e-payment method. Once the partial or full payment is performed, then it will now be automatically recorded on NetSuite. Next would be the automated cash application, where application can now be automated. With this new feature, it will automatically match the imported bank payments against the open invoices on our system. And once this is approved, GL payment are now created by NetSuite. This will highly improve our cash flow, lower day sales outstanding, and reduce AR aging. Next would be the suite analytics. This includes the dataset linking, cache data and dataset, CSV export option in pivot tables, application of conditional formatting for customized highlighting of values, and lastly, the custom formula fields and calculated measures to gain real-time insights. Next on the highlight would be banking and enhancement. So this include again the automated cash application where customers can now import bank lines that do not have matching customer payment. This will let you automatically generate a batch of missing general ledger customer payment in NetSuite and then apply them to open invoices. Next would be the enhancement to matching and reconciliation. So now we do have added a select all button that will let you check or clear all boxes for all items visible in the current page of the account transaction grid. Next on the highlight would be the streamlined inventory management. So under this, we have warehouse management enhancement, where this feature will optimize our shipping costs due to the flexibility in rapid shipping and packing of multiple orders to the same location. To add, with 2021.2, users can now add and remove cartons from pallet. Next would be the prioritization of inventory allocation and improving its visibility. Sample of these improvements are earliest item availability, where it computes item and location level availability information based on simulated allocation, which displays the computed availability date for each location to provide answer to which item availability inquires regarding future demands. Next would be the optimized allocation for gross profit and revenue, which will provide customers with the computation of allocation to maximize the sum of gross profit or revenue on selected sales order line. And from there, customers can now decide which order to prioritize and fulfill first if there's restriction to item availability. Next on the allocation improvements would be logging allocation changes on sales order. This analyze order line allocation changes based on log system notes. And then there's also changes to order allocation alerts, reallocated order items where pop-up window offers system recommendation, and reallocation that improves the target order expected ship date. Next would be the allocated demand and allocated supply pop-up window, which is also added. Next point would be generating lot numbers are improved, which would be leading to a better inventory and warehouse management. So the fourth point would be project enhancement. Now, purchase to project version 1 is now accessible from the Suite App Marketplace. This will now allow customers with project management module to manage purchase transaction related to project, including project tasks. This Suite app brings together project purchasing experience and availability to manage both purchase order and vendor bills linked to a project. Now, customers can do a single click creation of purchase order from the project or from the project task. Last but not the least, other industry features and enhancement. So some of these that we highlighted are new rate provider for currency exchange rate integration, which HSBC is now a currency exchange rate provider. And this would be the default provider if you just recently enabled your currency exchange rate integration, but you can opt to change it. Next would be the new Sandbox Refresh option, where each of your Sandbox account can now be refreshed from either your production account or another Sandbox account. Next would be cross-subsidiary requisitions, which enables you to consolidate requisition entered from any subsidiary into a single centralized purchase order. This will automatically cross-charge balance the general ledger and the intercompany accounts. Next would be the electronic bank payment enhancement. So under the electronic bank payment enhancement, we have 3 points. So payment file administration rollback for in-transit payment, where customer can now roll back in-transit payment using the new rollback button on the payment file administration page. So this is a new button added in there. Next would be the company bank and entity details process using the Suite Script 2.0. Basically, any customization performed using the Suite Script 1.0 must be repeated using the Suite Script 2.0. Next would be the aggregate by pay preference update, where it now have the option to clear the aggregate by pay box on the electronic payment preference page to turn off the aggregate by pay settings. Next, features would now be discussed by Christian on the technical side.
Next would be the improved security for storing custom password field values. As of 2021.2, the SweetScript 1.0 NLAPI encrypt default encryption method is no longer supported when used to check custom password fields. In addition, SweetScript 2.0 get value methods are no longer supported for custom password fields. You can now use NLAPI check password field function for SweetScript 1.0, while crypto.check password field method for SweetScript 2.0 to check and validate values in custom password fields. Next would be the enhanced feature dependencies updates. Your users can now fully install an SDF Suite app when some of its NetSuite features are not enabled in the target account. If the account administrator later enables those features, the relevant custom objects become available to your Suite apps users.
As part of the NetSuite release note, NetSuite also announces that it is deprecating certain functionalities or ceasing support for certain products. Somehow, this might pose risk to any organization running NetSuite. So the following risks has been identified and Online One have recommended plan of action. To start with the new Sandbox Refresh option, which was mentioned earlier, note that this functionality is only available to NetSuite Premium accounts, not including the standard. This is an identified opportunity since it allows a refresh from either the production account or another Sandbox account. But note that this may imply some risks, as the users with admin role only in the Sandbox account can now perform refresh activities. Additionally, source accounts that are actively being used as a refresh source will be disabled in the drop-down list until the refresh completes. Our recommended plan of action is that administrator must communicate any refresh activities. Admins are also advised to review the user's access via the manage users in all their Sunbox account. Make sure that only valid users have access and roles with the administrative permission. Next one will be on the core administrative permission feature enabled by default. We would normally use this preference to customize a role so that it behaves almost like the administrator role. This is an identified opportunity, but may also imply risks for existing custom roles for any NetSuite account. Our recommended action is that the administrator may need to review some their custom roles and make sure that this preference is unticked. No changes should be identified and affected by the new release. Next would be on the end of support for some browsers. This was initially mentioned during the release 2021.1 and will now commence to the 2021.2 release. As of our latest release, NetSuite will no longer support the following browser: Microsoft Internet Explorer 11, Microsoft Edge, and all Safari version prior to 13.1. As a recommendation, if your users use any of the browsers mentioned, inform them to switch to another supported browser, and this will also assist to avoid any unexpected behavior of the system when your account is already upgraded. For the other risks identified, Christian will be discussing further.
End of support for HMAC-SHA-1 signature method for TBA postponed. HMAC signing is an access token method that adds another level of security by forcing the requesting client to also send along a signature that identifies the request temporarily to ensure that the request is from the requesting user, using a secret key that is never broadcast over the wire. The end of support for the HMAC-SHA-1 signature method for the token-based authentication feature has been postponed until release 2022.1. Customers may have existing integrations. Example would be the website integration that they need to review to determine what signature method they are using. As recommendation, review existing integrations with your administrator. When your account is upgraded to NetSuite 2022.1, any integrations using the TBA feature with HMAC-SHA-1 as a signature method will stop working. The end of support and the request to change the signature method to HMAC-256 also applies to third-party integrations. MD5 and SHA-1 hash algorithms are no longer valid. As to prepare for the end of support for HMAC-SHA-1 signature method for TBA, support for the MD5 and SHA-1 hash algorithms in SweetScript 1.0 and SweetScript 2.0 are no longer valid. As recommendation, review the existing hash algorithm with your administrator. Scripts that use MD5 or SHA-1 as the hash algorithm must be updated to use a different hash algorithm such as SHA-256 or SHA-512 to ensure these scripts continue to work as expected after upgrade to 2021.2. Changes on how to access custom password fields via script. With the improved security for storing custom password field values, methods like NLAPI encrypt, get value for custom password fields are no longer supported. As a recommendation, review the existing custom scripts for custom password fields with your administrator.
Okay. To summarize, the NetSuite 2021.2 new release focuses on the automation and efficiency of business processes. Again, this feature will only be available when your account is upgraded to 2021.2. If you have any questions about this video, feel free to contact your NetSuite consultant here at Online One. Thanks for watching and hope that this information has been helpful to you.